This is a KETK News Weather Alert.
Hi everyone and good evening. I'm Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bagwell, getting ready for what looks to be an active Friday, and we want you to be prepared and be in the know of what's to come our way here in the area as we go through your Friday. We have a severe weather alert day in effect because of the potential of numerous thunderstorms. This is a very odd setup for us to get this in the middle of January, in the middle of winter time. This is more of a spring type severe weather situation that is expected to occur for us as we move toward tomorrow evening and into tomorrow. We're keeping an eye on multiple different pieces of data that are coming into the Storm Center, all of that to give you the latest and the most up-to-date forecast as we move through tonight and into tomorrow. Let me first start out with what we know so far. This has been highlighted by the Storm Prediction Center going all the way back to Sunday, and last week was when we were starting to make mention of this threat for initially some rain and storms, but then turned into what looks to be a significant severe weather event to occur for us. So all of East Texas in the areas of orange, that's the enhanced threat. But happening today, we had the moderate risk come out. That's level 4 out of 5, and that includes our eastern areas. That does include Gregg County, a good part of Rusk County, parts of Upshur County, but most of the counties included are Cass, Marion, Harrison, Panola, and parts of Shelby County. And this is where the Storm Prediction Center says a significant, major damaging wind threat could occur in this region. Could this moderate risk actually backtrack a little bit more to the west? I think there certainly is a good possibility of that. We'll see how the additional model data comes together and all plays out. What does a moderate risk mean? Well, in a moderate risk, that means widespread severe weather is expected, and that moderate risk is a lot smaller compared to the enhanced risk, but numerous severe thunderstorms are going to be expected here in East Texas, and that's why it's so important to make sure that you are weather aware and prepared to go. Let's talk about what's to come our way. I want to give you the ingredients that are going to move in to help give us this severe thunderstorm risk for tomorrow. First of all, a lot of warm air will begin to move in, and that warm air will be able to rise easily into the atmosphere. You probably felt the muggy and warm temperatures for today. That's part of it. Another piece to the puzzle is the Gulf moisture. That's why we've seen the muggy conditions move in. Another factor, yet very important for the potential of rotating thunderstorms and tornadoes, is the changing wind speed and direction. We have that present for us. Stronger southerly winds for us now, and then all the clouds that came in are coming in from the southwest, and then once the upper level system comes in, we get a significant change in that speed and direction, which could help lead to rotating thunderstorms. And then finally, cold front. That's going to be a big trigger mechanism, and the upper disturbance that is looking to move right across the Red River area, which will also help enhance the wind threat that we could see as we continue on into the day for tomorrow. Let me show you that upper low here. Look at how powerful it is. It has deepened significantly for tonight across the Four Corners region. I put it into motion and notice the track of it heading our way toward East Texas as we get toward Thursday evening, or excuse me, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And as that low gets closer, it will begin to amplify the wind energy in the upper levels a lot more, and this will be conducive for us to see strong to severe thunderstorms here in East Texas. And then as the upper low begins to move out early on Saturday morning, still some lingering clouds, and that's why we could see maybe a little bit of winter precipitation up near the Red River, maybe near Interstate 30. Here's the Gulf moisture, and that dew points will be rocking and rolling for tomorrow. Rich moisture will be present. That moisture present all the way into early on Saturday morning, but behind that, we'll certainly get some drier air that'll move in, and that dry air will be with us as we continue on through the latter part of the weekend. So here's the big picture on things, on what's going to happen, and then we're going to look at Futurecast on a more local level here in just a moment. You notice there at about 9 a.m. we're looking at mainly cloudy skies, but some individual storms will start to form into the afternoon for us. And then by late afternoon, there's the cold front, and then some individual storms forming around and east of Dallas, working their way toward East Texas. And as the front moves in between about 9 and 11 o'clock, that's the heavy line of showers and thunderstorms that we can expect to push through. And this threat will not be over with until we get to early on Saturday morning. And remember, as I mentioned, on the back end of that upper low, we could still still see some precipitation, some of that winter precipitation that might try to occur up near Interstate 30 as we move into our late Friday night going into early on Saturday morning, but it does not look like it'll be anything significant for us as far as winter weather is concerned. Let me take you over to Futurecast on a more local level. We'll walk through this here on a lot closer scale. That way we can see what to expect. So just a couple of showers will be around through the rest of this evening. And then as we move into the overnight, still cloudy, maybe a patchy drizzle or a little bit more in the way of light showers. Nothing significant for us tomorrow morning. Into the afternoon, we'll have to monitor for these individual supercell type storms that might try to form ahead of the line, as I was just showing you on the big picture. Here's one example of that could try to form. Is it going to actually be up near Hopkins County? Well, it's yet to be seen. Futurecast is a model giving us an idea on what's to come into the afternoon. Here's 5 o'clock though. We have a lot of heating happening at this point, and this is going to support the potential of some individual supercell storms initially, and then the line gets its act together and then starts to move in. This is 11 o'clock. You notice here a pretty potent line of strong to severe thunderstorms, which really ramps up our threat for damaging wind gusts here along that line. So we'll have to monitor for that. Midnight, the line is shifting a little bit more to the east and to the southeast, and still maybe a couple of embedded supercells along that leading edge too, down over parts of deep East Texas, moving into early on Saturday morning before this all begins to move out. Just some leftover light rain, but turning colder into Saturday morning as those temperatures keep on dropping. And notice here, maybe some brief sleet pellets or a few snowflakes up near Interstate 30, but our temperatures are staying above freezing, so there is no concern for any sort of impacts there with that. The clouds will finally begin to clear out late on Saturday afternoon, heading on into our Saturday evening. Okay, let me shift gears and give you actually a bit more of a different perspective with Futurecast, because I want to talk about the temperatures. I showed you that first bullet point as far as one of our key ingredients for severe weather is the warmth that we could see as we move into tomorrow. It'll be quite warm during the day. We're looking at temperatures to climb up into the mid 70s. There is a case where we could see some upper 70s also in deep East Texas as we move toward our Friday afternoon and Friday evening. So all of this warm air is allowing us to see rich Gulf moisture, which will in turn translate to an isolated supercell severe storm threat into the afternoon, and then that main line coming in as we get toward our Friday evening and Friday night. Notice the sharp contrast here. Areas that aren't seeing rain, at least at this point by 11 o'clock, into the 70s. Behind it, cooling down significantly, and we'll keep getting colder into Saturday morning as temperatures will start into the 30s and the 40s for many areas. Even some upper 40s most likely will occur too there in deep East Texas. We have a couple of other parameters that we're able to see. First of all, as far as the instability is concerned, this is not a necessarily springtime instability type event. This is what we call more of a high wind energy or high shear environment. So our instability tomorrow is not looking to be all that impressive. But what is impressive, as I mentioned, is the wind energy, and that's where we have the potential of seeing damaging straight line wind gusts and maybe some rotation that could occur. This is our rotation potential with Futurecast, and notice what happens into the afternoon. That surge of rotating potential increases by late Friday afternoon into Friday evening. And that causes a concern for us to see maybe some rotating thunderstorms there, and that threat will still remain even as we go late Friday night into very early on Saturday morning before the threat finally comes to an end. One other graphic that I want to share with you as far as our potential is concerned is going to be the hail threat, and I'm not really concerned about hail to occur. Our model here is actually going to be a little bit aggressive on showing some hail increasing as we get to tomorrow evening and tomorrow night with that line. Yeah, you can't rule out maybe some hail. I think more so of the hail threat will occur if we see the individual type storms that will try to form. So this is probably just a tad bit overdone, but does give us a good idea on the potential of it to occur. Let me put it in this form for you. Storm summary. So a line of severe thunderstorms coming in tomorrow night, looking to be now after 8 o'clock in the evening, going through early on Saturday morning. Now there is an increased risk for severe storms, especially rotating storms that could could produce a tornado if we see an individual storm out ahead of that line. I think there's a very good chance of that happening. Where in East Texas, that's hard to pinpoint down, but I think we have all of the ingredients, not just for one specific area, but all of East Texas for that to occur. And that gives us all of our threats being likely, especially the damaging wind gusts and tornadoes that could occur within this storm. And notice there, the heavy rain threat will be one of our primary concerns also. And again, damaging wind gusts, the primary severe weather concern. Also coming with that will be the threat for some tornadoes if that were to occur. And then finally, the threat for some hail if we were to be able to see that take place in an individual storm. So we have to keep a close monitor on that very closely. Okay, we'll wrap it up with this. This is your outlook for Friday, subject to change, but all of East Texas under at least an enhanced threat and then a moderate risk for severe weather. It's likely to occur. All of the ingredients are in place. Now we just play the waiting game to see how all of this is expected to evolve. It's important to make sure that you have our East Texas Storm Team app. If you haven't downloaded yet, maybe you're watching on our KETK app. Great app to have. Maybe coincide that with our East Texas Storm Team app. You will get lightning notifications in an instant. If there's a weather warning or a watch issue, you will get that notified. If there's a rotating storm, we are able to notify you of that as well, and that way you can prepare to seek shelter maybe before a warning is issued. Live Doppler radar there, our forecast also available to you. Even one step further than that will be Futurecast, a 24-hour look at Futurecast available now on the app. Just go to the radar section and then highlight Futurecast. You'll be able to see that. And then especially after the storm, you are able to share your photos and your videos. So we'll be keeping a close eye on this. Meteorologist Carson Vickroy will be with me tomorrow, along with meteorologist John Adams. We'll all be here to get you through the storm as we move into your Friday afternoon, and especially when that line arrives tomorrow evening into early on Saturday morning. Thanks for taking time to join us here. Be weather aware and be prepared for tomorrow. Know your safety plan on where to go before the severe weather strikes, as we have been preparing you the last couple of days for what could be a very active Friday and start to our weekend. Have a nice evening.